Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Today I proudly present SR 103, which designates the month of October and every October thereafter as Italian American Heritage Month. It also encourages public schools to include Italian American history in ethnic studies courses and other social studies courses to highlight their achievement and contributions to, frankly, California's culture and history. SR 103 encourages taking steps to promote the inclusion of Italian Americans' role in the contributions to our culture, our history, in both elementary and secondary school textbooks during the revision process. Again, it encourages, doesn't require. Italian Americans were among the first to arrive in California during the gold rush. Today, they are the 5th largest ethnic group in America, numbering roughly 26 million people, with nearly 1.5 million Italian Americans residing in California. A lot of folks don't know that during World War II, Italian Americans were the largest ethnic minority to serve in the U.S. Armed Forces during World War II, including my late father, who was a proud Army veteran, who was part of that wave of Italian sons and daughters of immigrants who fought for our country. We've been instrumental in shaping California's history and culture, from pioneering the state's agriculture and wine industries to establishing the first branch banking system in the U.S. Pioneers like Andrea Sciabaro, who founded Italian-Swiss Wine Company in Sonoma County in 1881, were instrumental in establishing the wine industry. In the realm of banking, Amedeo Pietro Giannini founded the Bank of Italy in 1904, focusing on serving everyday persons rather than just wealthy individuals. This new approach transformed the financial industry. Italian Americans have also left an indelible mark on the movie industry, from Al Pacino to Danny Aiello to many directors and producers. The influence is evident in our success of the industry. Obviously, in the realm of politics, this House and the Assembly have been no stranger to Italian Americans like David Roberti, Dominic Cannella, the Cortese family, both father and son, as well as the first female Speaker of the U.S. Congress, Nancy Pelosi, is an Italian American. So despite these significant contributions, frankly, the role of Italian Americans has been undertaught and, in my opinion, underappreciated. Many people don't know that Italian Americans were actually interned during World War II, which many people don't even know that that happened. And that's something that people should know happened. And as I said, we were the largest ethnic minority to serve in World War II, in spite of being interned during that international conflict. So SR 103 honors Italian Americans' legacy and encourages schools to include those achievements in history and social studies. And with me, I have Bill Cerruti, who will offer some expert testimony as a member of several Italian American task force in the local Italian American community here in Sacramento. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Cerruti, welcome.
Well, thank you. Is this working?
Yes.
Well, thank you. Yeah, my name is Bill Cerruti. I'm the chair of the California Italian American Task Force, which is a state commission that was established to represent the interests of Italian Americans at the state level. The task force primary goals are educational. Our singular primary goal is to include Italian Americans in the California school curriculum. We have not been successful. We've had several bills passed through both houses of the legislature and to the governor's desk, and neither one made a signature. So we've been very frustrated by that. We hope that this education committee will support future efforts to include Italian Americans in the school studies that California students are exposed to. We feel that we did a major textbook study for high schools and colleges in the past that found that there was no mention of Italian Americans in any of them, just barely. There was a few references to Al Capone, but beyond that, we weren't in the textbooks. As far as World War II, my own grandfather was had a contract with the city of San Francisco to haul garbage, and they took away his contract because he was not an American citizen, although he was a legal resident since the 1890s in California. He lost his livelihood and never recovered, nor did my family. But that's just one of the painful chapters in our history. There are several. The mass lynching of Italians in New Orleans led to the creation of Columbus Day, a holiday which is sacred in the Italian community, and fairly politicized right now, but we're doing our best to keep it. Anyway, I would like to explain that the Italian Americans came to California with the gold rush. We were one of the largest groups that came in the 1850s. We were one of the largest groups in the mines, both southern and
I have to
northern.
ask you to finish up, sir.
Pardon?
You have to finish up.
Oh,
Sorry.
in conclusion, we've been here since the 1850s. We're a very established population, and we really approve of this resolution, which highlights our contributions, and we thank you for that.
And I thank you for your testimony. Thank you to Senator Portino for being such a solid advocate for this effort. Do we have other witnesses in support here? Seeing none. Do we have any witnesses in opposition? Seeing none, coming back to the dais, to my colleague.
Yeah, I just want to ask a question. So I've never heard about Italian Americans being interned. How many and where were they interned?
So there's a book called Sunshine and Struggle, which I'll get you a copy of, which details the internment. I want to say, was it 100,000?
Well, the worst part about that period was that 10,000 Italian Americans in California were forced to relocate from the West Coast. The FBI knocked on their doors and said, leave, and they were forced to leave, and they had nowhere to go. We had 90-year-old grandmothers living in chicken coops. They were not allowed on the Western. Even Joe DiMaggio's father could not visit his son's restaurant in San Francisco at that time.
I'll get you a copy of the book. It's called Sunshine and Struggle.
Yeah, I'd be really interested in that. Thank you.
Now, just to follow up on that,
No, we don't have a third vote, so I would love to hear it if that's okay with the judge.
Yes, that's true. We got some time.
We got time.
So
Regale us with stories.
please.
so in the year 2000, for 60 years, the federal government denied those events happened. Hundreds of Italian Americans were interned for the duration of the war, mostly in Missoula, Montana. For 60 years, the government denied, federal government denied these events happened. But our scholars on the West Coast put together the story, went to Congress. In the year 2000, Bill Clinton signed the Italian American Civil Liberties Act, which recognized those events and ordered the Attorney General to conduct an investigation. The report was issued, which verified all the facts. So thousands were in prison. You remember, we got a knock on the door at midnight, and we were hauled out of our homes and put in front of people questioning our loyalty. Many of our elder Italians committed suicide. They were Americans, and they couldn't believe loyalty was questioned, and they actually committed suicide.
Let me welcome a great Italian American here, Senator Cortese. Good morning. We're in the midst of.
I'm gonna let him make the motion.
Well, we still don't. This is a 7-member committee, correct? So this gets us to 3. So we still have more time. So please continue.
So if I could add real quick there, Mr. Wilk.
On this, huh?
Mr. Wilk, there's a very famous cartoon that was in the New York newspapers at the time, and it had an exaggeration of a ship in the port, and then the rope that the ship was tied on the dock, and on the rope were rats. And one was named Vito, one was named Angelo, and Marco. We were considered the rats leaving the ship, and that was literally published in a reputable New York newspaper at the time to sort of comment on what people thought of Italian Americans coming to this country at the time, which is why we're here. And by the way, Mr. Cortese, I mentioned your family's legacy during what you missed the good stuff. but you're here.
Also on tape is a firm commitment by Senator Portantino to give Senator Wick a book.
Yes.
It's on the record.
Sunshine and Struggle.
It's Sunshine and Struggle. All right, well, we still don't have a quorum, and so we can do this one of two ways. We can either hold off, or if you've got other information, Mr. Cerruti, I cut you off because generally we give 2 minutes to each witness, but if you've got anything else you'd like to add, by all means, educate us. Senator Cortese, go ahead.
First of all, I'm sorry I'm a few minutes late coming in, but since there appears to be a little bit of time here, I just wanted to thank Senator Portantino for his leadership. I mean, this is something that however many or few Italian Americans we have in the legislature, really should be top of mind. And when he said it to me, to let me know that this was coming, and suggested that I co-author, and I'm a proud co-author. Honestly, my first note to self was, that should have been top of mind for me as well. So I'm going to thank him for his awareness and being astute about this. And I did catch some of the testimony about what's called La Storia Segreta, the secret story. And it's called that because there's just been so little information or education about how Italian Americans were treated during World War II, not just those that were interned, but those who were put under severe curfew, separate and apart from other Americans at the time, including right here in California, including in my hometown, where there were huge numbers of diaspora at the time. And I know you've covered this ground, but I just wanted to indicate that it's deep-seated with me, and I think, as the chair knows, because we've had related issues come up in previous policy committee meetings, that are focused on what's going on today with certain ethnic groups. I haven't hesitated to at least mention, my own experience in. I don't want to impute this, my age or my time on this earth on anyone else, including Senator Portantino, but I'm old enough to have experienced those direct slurs and insults, on the playground and everywhere else. Right here, we always say, right here in California, how could that occur? And the movie. I'm not here to do a plug for somebody's film that's trying to make money. I don't know if it was mentioned earlier, but the movie that's out and I think available by stream now, Cabrini, is for Italian Americans is an extraordinarily painful but accurate depiction of what was going on in New York at that time. And I would encourage people to watch it for the entertainment value, but also, for the history lesson, because I just think either much of that has remained a secret and or people just aren't aware. It's been generations now, and fortunately, much assimilation has occurred over the years. So proud to be here as an Italian American in the legislature and on this committee, and proud to be associated with Senator Portantino on this resolution. Thank you.